The municipal bond market is a vast $2.8 trillion market composed of 50,000 different issuers. The synchronous global recession has put a huge dent in growth in the U.S., and this downward trajectory has imposed seen and unseen stresses on municipal finance. So, is there a crisis in the municipal market? How do you measure degrading municipal credit risk? And where is the danger currently in the muni market? We'll investigate these issues and answer your questions live from the Performance Trust studio on this edition of Full Disclosure. Welcome to this edition of Full Disclosure. I'm Brian Battle. I'm joined today by a diverse panel that represents some valuable, different viewpoints on municipal credit. We have a muni bond rater, a muni bond insurer, a large muni bond buyer, and the muni bond expert. Let's meet our panel. First, Ted Damutz, Vice President and Senior Credit Officer, Moody's Investor Service. Ted just completed his 4th year as a member of the Board of Governors of the National Federation of Municipal Analysts. He served as an officer on the Chicago Board of Municipal Analysts Society for 5 years, including the president's post for a year. Don Farrell, Director, Assured Guaranty Insurance. Don joined Assured from another bond insurer where he served as most recently as Managing Director and Head of Public Finance East. In his 16 years, he's been involved in all aspects of municipal bond insurance, including credit analysis, transaction underwriting, and pricing. Bob Zubek, Portfolio Manager, Allstate. Bob is currently managing the investment-grade portfolio at Allstate, which totals approximately $20 billion. Bob is a member of the Chicago Municipal Analyst Society, and he was also a member of the board of the MSRB, Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board, from 06 through 09. And lastly, Jim Spiato, partner, Chapman & Cutler. Jim is the head of the Special Litigation, Bankruptcy, and Workout Group. He's represented banks and bank groups, insurance companies, institutional investors, funds, indenture trustees, and bondholders in litigation or workouts for more than 400 different troubled debt financings in over 35 different states. Jim has testified before governmental bodies regarding troubled debt financing, including appearances before Congress in 88, 92, and 95 with regards to amendments to the bankruptcy code. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. And let's get started by having a few comments just generally about your opinion on municipal credit and the TRED. Ted, why don't you go first?
Well, thank you very much, Brian, for having me on today. Look forward to this opportunity.
Sure.
I guess really with the municipal market, Moody's has been around for 110 years and covering munis for 90 of that. Certainly we're in a different stage right now, and the sector generally is pressured, and we have a negative outlook on the sector broadly. Mm-hmm. You know, for the last 3 years, I think what we're looking at now is when the recession first started, we were immediately focused on sales tax revenues, income tax. Those were immediately impacted. Mm-hmm. We knew that property tax valuations were was going to take a few years for those to decline, and we're seeing that now. So there's a real pressure there. There's going to be pressure from the local governments as the states start to push down the pain on them, as we see obviously in delayed payments in Illinois. Right. I think, but other areas, certainly enterprise risk, maybe a municipality got involved in the good times in something that to spur economic growth.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
Right.
Or situation of a convention center that mm-hmm. just people aren't going to, and we're seeing a lot of those issues. Right. And then also certainly pensions is something that is pressuring and will continue to for quite some time.
Sure, good. I want to make that distinction later between the budgeted and future liabilities. Don, what about bond insurers? What's going on with the bond insurers these days?
First, thank you for having me on this panel. I'm very excited to be here. Assured Guaranty as really the only insurer to get through the financial crisis and continue to write business through that whole period. We're very interested in this topic. We do not believe that there is a crisis in the municipal market. We have between Assured Guaranteed Municipal and Assured Guaranteed Corp, over $400 billion in exposure to the municipal market. Also, in our investment portfolio, we have about $5 billion that's invested in the municipal market. Going through that portfolio every year, whether it's a sector analysis or a credit-by-credit analysis on the new business that's coming in every year, it's about 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 names that we review. We do not see this as being a crisis. Yes, there's certainly fiscal pressures at the state and local governments, where I would say there's probably stress where default could be real is on those outliers of non-investment grade type credits, whether it's rated by a rating agency or internally rated, or speculative type financings, as Ted had mentioned with a convention center, to use his example. So
sure.
we do not see there a crisis in the municipal market.
So you're taking credit risk, you have your own credit opinion, and
yes.
You think the story seems to be a bit overblown.
It certainly is overblown.
Great. All right. Bob, bond buyer, what do you say?
Well, thanks, Brian. You know, it's interesting because there certainly is a lot of angst on municipal credits at the present time. You can't pick up any paper or hear any news report. You're not hearing about certain problems with states and budgets and pensions. But what's been interesting is that the markets actually performed very well during this period. Even though there's been a lot of angst to date, we really haven't had a lot of big blow-ups as of yet. So the markets perform very well. I think what our concern is longer term, trying to get into the right sectors, be in the right types of bonds going forward. And also, I think, obviously, the major thing is what's going on with the economy. Where are the problems going to occur if the economy continues to slow down growth or we dip back into recession at a later date?
Right. And Jim, lastly, you're here. You're sort of the grave digger, the Chapter 9 bankruptcy expert. Why don't you tell, you've been around this block before. Why don't you tell us what you think? What does it look like?
Well, Brian, as we all know, there's an old adage, doctors bury their mistakes, in municipal finance, you refinance them. The long history of municipal finance has been a wonderful relationship between the credit market, the citizens, and the local communities and states. There has been support there because there has been credibility. Municipalities and states have done almost anything not to default. They've honored their obligation, and they've done it because they know that they need to go back to that market to build the next infrastructure improvement. Our economy in the United States is not the world's largest economy for any reason other than we have the infrastructure to support it. And that infrastructure has really been developed by municipal finance. And it's been individuals and funds and insurance companies and others that have helped invest in that. The banks that have had their long history of making sure that they support their local communities and their states. So I don't think that's going to change. Everybody wants to know, is this a tipping point?
Right.
In Chinese, the word crisis is made up of two characters, dangerous, opportunity. And I think this is now the time for municipal finance to shine.
And do you